Hey, Jake Harper here from American Torah again. I'm reading from Proverbs chapter 29, verse 7. It says, "The righteous knows the cause of the poor, but the wicked does not understand such knowledge." Now, different translations are going to word this a little bit differently, but the essence is that a righteous man knows down inside, he intuits what justice means for the poor, while a wicked man not only doesn't know it, doesn't understand it, he doesn't care. He may say that he cares. He may talk about justice for the poor, but really he's much more concerned about what he can get out of it, how he can turn the situation to his own advantage. But in order to understand what this means for us, we need to understand the difference between a righteous man and a wicked man. Now, throughout Scripture, throughout Genesis and all of the Torah and the history, the writings such as Psalms and Proverbs and all of the prophets, a righteous man is defined as someone whose behavior and attitudes are aligned with God's. A wicked man is defined through usage of the words as a man whose behavior and attitudes are aligned against God and against the righteous man. So if you look at how the term righteous, in Hebrew and Greek, of course, the terms for a righteous man are used throughout Scripture, you'll come away with, a few general qualities. The righteous man is obedient to God's commandments. He studies them, he meditates on them, he teaches them to his family, he upholds them at the city gates. He lives according to God's commandments. He lives in a restrained manner. He is self-controlled. But he is generous. He's generous to the poor, to the indigent, to the widows. He is even generous to people who have done wrong. The wicked man, on the other hand, engages in idolatry, the things that Scripture calls abominations. He has no self-control. If he feels like doing something, he does it. His creed is, if it feels right, do it. That is the definition of a wicked man. He is treacherous. He may be kind to the poor, or he may treat them well temporarily in order to gain their favor so that he can use that for some other means. But he doesn't actually care about the poor. He doesn't actually care about anybody's justice. He cares about what he can get from things. So when somebody says that we need to make sure that we are championing justice for the underprivileged, for the poor, you can tell immediately whether they really mean it, whether you can listen to what they have to say, whether they actually understand what those words mean by looking at their behavior. Do they live according to God's commandments? Do they live in a manner that would please the God who said, honor your father and your mother? Don't covet what belongs to your neighbor. Worship Yahweh and only Yahweh. Obey the Son of God, Messiah Yeshua? Or does he say, you do you? Whatever seems right to you, that's right for you. Truth is relative. Whatever you believe to be true, that's fine. Does he say, people should just be allowed to be who they want to be? That is not in alignment with God's character, with God's commandments. So you can ignore whatever that person says about justice, because that is the wicked person. It doesn't matter how else you might feel about what they say, about what they do. If their behaviors and attitudes are not in alignment with God's character, they do not understand justice. They do not understand the rights of the poor. This is Jake Harper from American Torah. Be blessed.